So as you guys know, I have a Discord group where artists just talk to each other, critique each other's work, and I go in there from time to time and take a look at some work and review them. So if you would like to join the group, the link is in the description. You can just check it out and join our group and pretty much just upload your art and you find someone that will help you. You find people that you can collaborate with. So these are just some art from a few people in my Discord. Wow, this is nice. Oh, this is really nice too. Liu Seal. I hope I pronounced your name right. I like this. I like the background. It's very graphical, but it conveys some form of movement with it, especially with the colors that you're using because they're kind of reflected in the character as well. I like that. Mickey Bell. Wow, this is a really nice story. I love this painting. Becca B. I like this. You might probably be the one to do our emotes for the server. What do you think? Me posted this. Ooh, dope. I'm looking for Meraki, my guy Meraki. He was pretty active and he was reviewing a lot of art and he was actually giving some good advice, but I haven't seen him here for a while. I think he said his mom took his phone or something. If you guys know where Meraki went to, just let me know in the comments down below because I can't find Meraki here. Yeah, I saw this nice caricature of me from Mr. Plot. I really love it, man. You want to become a better artist? This is pretty much what I'm doing all the time. I'm talking like this, and I didn't even wear the bandana today, but yeah, I love it. It's nice. I think you guys should go check. You guys should go check out Mr. Plot. Is Mr. Plot your Instagram? Is that your social media, Mr. Plot? You didn't tell us your social media. So the first image is from Poyo. Feedback will be appreciated. If you have any suggestions to improve this piece, all right, nice piece, nice image. I think I understand the kind of look you're going for. So this guy is in a blue reflected environment, right? All right, the first thing I can see is you've already added some rim lights because the light is in front of him, so it's definitely going to be lighting him from front, right? I see you've already done that here, and you also have these light sources coming into the bubbles or something, which is nice. It actually makes sense, but the only problem that I see you haven't faced is you left the shadows completely black, which isn't going to happen. So let's assume this is a big room or something and you have this kind of bright light going this way. It's going to light up the entire room, so there's no way you're going to have shadows that are just going to be black. And when doing this, I just like to think about the forms I'm drawing or painting and think of how the light will rotate around them, because essentially what you're doing when you're doing things like this is you're using lights to depict surfaces. So the forms are now looking better. You're able to read them easier because there's some light hitting everything in the shadow. So I see that you also made the ball reflective, which is nice. I like that too. But if you want to make it super transparent, you can just create your form, then hide it with Ctrl H, and then I just paint in just gradually around the edges. So that's already looking like it's transparent because you can't see the middle. And then I'll go to the top and then just painting a little bit of the top. So that's where the bounce light is coming in and hitting it from, and then this is where the key light is. And because it's transparent and it's like a very translucid, I can't remember the word, but translucent material, so the light will go through it and reflect and become refracted on the other side of it. Spobs, a whip. I love this image. It looks finished already. I like it. I love the way you rendered her skin tones. You rendered the shadows. There's a lot of blues in the shadows because she's being hit by a warm light source, and as I can see, you already put blue in the background. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to do anything to your image. Let's just move on to the next one because this is already good. This is perfect. You cannot improve what's already perfect. Stupid. Okay. Mimic Kairata. Nice. Here's something I've made for someone. Okay. All right. Okay, the problem with your image is all the values are pretty similar. You see, turned it to black and white so I can see the values. All the values are pretty similar. You don't have really dark areas and you don't have super bright areas. Now those are the kind of areas that will cause contrast in the image and pull us to certain areas you want us to look at. So for this, I can tell your light source is coming from the left, so you'll probably be having like shadows on this part. And this is actually something you want to always be doing in your work. You always want to be having some form of contrast in your paintings. If not, they're going to look really washed out, and you're not going to be having a lot of contrast in them. So you can just fix this by going into the darkest areas and then just painting shadow forms there to make sure you're having some contrast in your image. And then after you paint in some dark forms, you can also go in and paint in brighter areas. So you can also just pretty much start establishing some other light sources in your image, maybe a little bit coming from this side or something, just to make the image pop some more. Yeah, basically the problem was you didn't have enough contrast in the image, so it's very easy to just turn it to black and white, check out your value ranges and see how much value you're losing. And if there's not enough contrast, you can increase the contrast in your work by making some areas darker and making some areas brighter. And if there's too much contrast, then you can pull it back. Precious, what's up? Precious is super active in the chat as well. Nice guy, Precious. Nice guy, Precious. How's it going, Precious? Pretty nice. I feel like her pose is a little bit stiff because of the way you have this leg just slicing this way and this leg is kind of doing whatever. So an easy fix will be just to think about how you're drawing your pose. So if you have like a girl standing like this leg should actually go this way if she wants to balance properly, because she's already balancing with like this leg at the back. So if you have this leg start bending, it's going to look like the pose is not properly balanced, and that's why her pose is looking kind of wonky. And especially with like female characters, girls have a particular way they stand, so that's something you want to look into. I don't mean you should go and start looking at like girls and all that, but yeah, if that's your thing, go ahead. But I'm just talking about the pose. Pretty much take a look at the way you establish your lighting in the image, defining the materials in your work, defining the textures in your work with your lighting. So because this is jeans, you can use your lighting to actually make us know it is jeans by using shadows to show us where folds are, using light to show us where light is hitting any of the folds, simple things like that. And I see you've already started doing that in your work, but you didn't finish doing it. Maybe you were looking at girls, but it's all good. And yeah, nice image. So it's pretty easy. Just make sure you're using your lighting and the way you're using shadows. Just make sure you're using that to show us the forms of whatever material you're rendering. So if you have cloth is going to have folds. There's going to be shadow in some of those folds. Light is going to be using some of those folds, so you can use your light to show us that. That will just help convey the essence of whatever texture you're trying to render. I think Precious deserves an award in like the Discord. When they do awards where they're giving members who have been most active and any of that kind of thing. I don't know if anyone does that, but yeah, Precious deserves an award. At least a mod or something. Leave a comment with one if you want me to make Precious a mod. Precious and Meraki. If you want me to make Precious and Meraki a mod, leave one in the comment section. This image is from Bobby's CC, please. I think it's pretty much the same thing with the image Precious uploaded. You don't have your lighting is not okay. First, let's take a look at the pose. It works since it's a simple character concept. Your lighting is not doing justice to like the character. And another thing I would suggest is like having, because for things like this you want to make sure that your character is looking as cool as possible, especially when it's a character concept. So you can just maybe add some real light to show the forms on the side. And when you're doing this, you don't want it to be too glaring that it's super. You want us to look at this rim light, whoa, what's going on. You just want to add just a little bit to show us what's going on with the forms on that area. And if you want to actually learn someone that does this a lot, is Brad Rigney. Just check any of Brad Rigney's paintings where he's just doing simple character concepts. They look so real. There's so much detail in the characters, in the costumes they're wearing, and then if you see the way he lights his characters, it's just super cool. That's something you can learn from and try to add in your work. So I'll suggest you do some more practice on painting, figures, faces, and do some studies on painting materials. So for this guy, you have him probably wearing like a leather cloak or something. You can actually find reference of a leather cloak on Google and paint that before you paint this image. So you can take knowledge from how the cloak works in your reference, and then you convey that into your image immediately after you're done painting. Next image, artifacts. I need a final critique before I share. I guess you've already shared it by now, but it's okay. I really love this image a lot. It's nice, and because there's a lot of trees, I feel like you didn't maximize all these trees. So the one thing I'll do is, in a scenario like this, I'll play a lot with dappled lighting, and that's just really light coming through leaves. So I just set a multiplier layer, and I'm just going to show you like how that will work. So when you have leaves and this kind of environment in your painting, it's always good to maximize using the leaves to your advantage. So that's by using like dappled lighting. It's always good to just maximize it. And another thing you want to do when you're using a dappled light is to use the shadows and where you're placing the lights to actually guide the viewer's eyes to areas of interest in your work. So you just come in and brighten areas where the light is hitting, and that will actually just make this dappled light scene look very believable. But yeah, something like this would work. It's crude, but if you are doing it, you want to like put some more detail, especially in the way you're shaping the dappled lights around your image. Don't be as reckless as I was. I'm quiet but still care. Nice name. So the opposite of that will be I'm loud and I don't care at all. But I don't think I'm loud. Well, not too loud at least. Any ideas or ways I can improve? First things first, I think you can improve by not using super saturated backgrounds like this. You can keep your backgrounds a little bit desaturated, and then you can have your character be more saturated to make the character stand out from the background, unless you want to have your background super saturated and then your character desaturated for a certain effect. But next thing you want to do is make sure your forms are reading across properly. So as I can see from this image, the forms in your character's face are just all over the place. So I'm just going to do that, and this is pretty easy to understand. You just have to study a lot of photographs to see how the shadows cast around people, or you can just take some photographs of yourself and see how that works. This is just like a crude paint over, but you get what I'm saying. Just add some more definition to the forms to make it look a little bit more readable and like closer to what we'll see in real life. Max sees. Huh? I like this. I actually like this. So I can tell this is a cell shaded image, but the only problem is I can see you have You've used some shadows to touch the hair, there's shadows in the clothing, but you neglected the entire face. There's no shadows on the face. I don't know if that's something you're going for in the work, if maybe that was like the style you were going for in your drawing, but I'll just add some shadows now to like just simple shadows like this, following the same light direction that you have in your work. And essentially this is just to show some more of the forms of the face. And yeah, as you can see, it's already looking, the face is already popping out. But one thing I've noticed is you have light source coming from the left hand side hitting the hand right here, but on the head the light is coming from the right hand side. So and it's still coming from the right hand side on the cloth as well. So you want to make sure that your light is pretty much consistent in the entire image, is coming from like the same direction. If not, it should just confuse the person looking at it. Like, look at me right now. I'm so confused just looking at the image. Can't you see how confused I am? Just simple reviews from the Discord server. If you want me to take a look at your work, you can also just submit your art in the Discord server, link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.